Most visitors to La Gomera get it wrong. They hang around in San Sebastian, maybe see a bit of Garajonay, and then leave, thinking they've ticked it off. To really get this island, you've got to put the work in. That means getting in the car and heading for the coast, to a place called Valle Gran Rey. The journey is an absolute mission, and frankly, that's half the point.
I'm Ronnie, and my travel style can be a little intense. If you're up for a really immersive travel experience, you're in the right place.
So from San Sebastian, the plan is simple. Head west across the entire island.
So I've left San Sebastian now, and I'm heading across the island through the mountains to Valle Gran Rey. The drive in total is about an hour and 20. It's actually not that far distance-wise. It's just obviously the roads are winding up and down mountains. The drive is just going to be viewpoint, viewpoint, viewpoint. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's going to take me longer than an hour or so, but we'll see how we get on.
And I wasn't wrong about the viewpoints. What I wasn't quite prepared for, though, was just how many there would be, or how much climbing the car would have to do to reach them. Leaving the capital, the road starts going up almost immediately, and it doesn't really stop.
It's just absolutely stunning. If you see the land behind me, there's like these terraces, and that's how they farmed the steep landscape. Made these terraces to grow crops, and that's the only land you've got. You've got to do what you've got to do. It's really hard to get anywhere far here, but I wanted to, like, we're pretty high up here. I don't know, at least 1,500 meters, at least, maybe more. But look, there's so much growing here. It's so colourful. You can kind of get an appreciation for how high up we are. Basically in the clouds. Yeah, it's so green. Love it.
Yeah, you're up pretty high, and this is just the beginning. The road keeps on climbing. A bit further on, you'll reach the Mirador de los Roques, and honestly...
Wow. Fuck. What a view. That is something else, isn't it? Jeez. Oh, the other side as well, to be fair, is also impressive, but this enormous piece of rock, so cool. I don't know where to look. Over this side isn't bad either. But this big boy, he's just something else. And literally very cool. It's freezing up here. The roads are great, like well maintained and stuff. Wide enough. But there's like hardly anybody here, so zoom in. I see the road winding round. Very cool. Typical, the sun comes out now, just as I drive away. Oh well. We'll hopefully still have the sun at the next viewpoint.
The roads were really quiet. Most of the time it felt like I was the only person on the island, which is good because it lets you stop pretty much wherever you want.
We can also climb up here. With some view. I guess this is another one of the big ravines that sort of give La Gomera its shape. And this isn't a time lapse, but look. You can tell how close to the cloud you are when you can see it moving that quickly. Everywhere you look. Right. Quite a high point here. There's another bit up there. There's another bit up there that seems a bit higher, but basically touching the clouds. Although the sun is breaking through, which is nice. Okay. Normally it's misty and wet here.
Right in the middle of the Garajonay National Park is a spot called Laguna Grande.
So I'm at the recreation centre, Laguna Grande. It's a starting point for a couple of hikes around here. Has a restaurant, bar, cafe thing, toilets. So it's a useful place to have a break or start a hike from, but it's cold. I'm not prepared for that today, at least.
Definitely not dressed for a damp hike in the mountains. The whole point was to get to the coast, where I was hoping it might actually be warm. The road finally starts to descend a bit, heading towards the west coast, and you guessed it, another viewpoint, this time looking out over Arure.
I've dropped in altitude a bit from that visitor centre. Another stop, another viewpoint. What a walk to this one. But because we're lower down, under a patch of clear sky, it's nice and warm. Through this little forest. Oh, there we go. Just at the end here. I said we'd come down in altitude a bit, but I mean, I guess relatively, we're still pretty high up. It's kind of similar landscape-wise, certainly here, to Madeira. The way it's just mountain, cliff, sea. It's quite a drastic drop. Little town down there. There's that many viewpoints here. I should have some sort of review scale and rate them and create a ranking, right? Sounds like too much work, to be honest. This one's nice. The coast. Let's see if we can see. I'm pretty sure the camera won't pick it up because I wasn't even sure if my eyes are picking it up, but I'll use my 2x zoom. La Palma is just there. I can kind of see an outline, and I think I can see like the coast, like where the water stops. So that's La Palma. Still to go there. And then in this direction, we should have the baby one, El Hierro. Well, I might not see it, it might be over that.
Seeing another island in the distance really puts it into perspective. You're properly out in the middle of the Atlantic here.
So, we're in Valle Gran Rey now. Oh wow. God, we're still so high. I feel like we've came down in altitude loads. We're still so high up. Amazing. It's so deep, isn't it, the ravine? So Gomera, because of its shape, the way it's been eroded with these big ravines, and its sort of circularness is known as the fruit juicer. You know, like a thing. Because it kind of looks like that. It's got these big ridges. And so from here, we're going to go in this tunnel through the mountain, and I guess wind our way down to the coast, where I'm hoping, given that the sun is out, it won't be so windy and it'll be nice and warm.
I couldn't believe I was still this high up. I still have to drive all the way down to reach the coast. Before that, I made a quick stop in the town of Arure.
And there's an aqueduct here. I don't know if it's Roman or what. Were the Romans here? Oh, it's like a little... I guess they've made a dam, right? That's man-made. Seems that this dam down here and the aqueduct were part of a plan in the 40s to irrigate a region called La Marca. 10 years later, it was still under construction, and they're still standing. Although there's a sign there you can't walk up it now because there's a risk of collapse. They're still standing, but the water never reached. Amazing view, isn't it? I'm thinking this is going to lead to the aqueduct, but maybe not. We'll find out. Okay, I can't see the aqueduct. I'm guessing it's back there in the bit that we're not allowed to go up. But look at this view. So another valley, another ravine, Barranco. Beautiful. A few houses and stuff down there. I don't think there's much other than that. And it's quite a long way down, but might be worth going to have a look. It's just such a massive drop. Like looking down, you get that feeling in your stomach, like like I can't go too close to the edge. And down. Yep, no thanks. Wait, it's actually terrifying. I'll stick my arm out longer than I'm willing to stick my body. So cool. Even this mountain here is massive when you look at it relative to the sea, and we're like, what, double the height of that here? I think we're at about 1,500 metres. And put that in the UK context, we're like almost the top of Ben Nevis, right? And this is just some bit of farmland. Absolutely amazing. Well, this isn't specifically, but around here you can hear goats and stuff. The little bells chiming. I mean, look at this. Like, it's your average dirt track, isn't it? Like this high up, you expect to be climbing over boulders and rocks and stuff, but no. You could drive a car up here if you didn't mind, you know, driving your car and looking out at that. Wow. Wow. It's pretty impressive, but also quite terrifying because there's no barrier and these are just dirt tracks, and there's lots of these big rocks that have obviously fallen down. Look at that. Look at it. Amazing. I feel like I should be better with words with these sorts of things. It's getting quite cold up here. Ah, there it is. You can kind of see the aqueduct as it crosses that little gap. Okay, I think I said La Mancha earlier, but this is La Mercia. So this is the valley that they were trying to irrigate by building a dam up here in the mountains, and then they were going to build an aqueduct to channel the water down. That makes sense. Because I guess down there, as you can see, nice, sunny, dry, hot. Up here in the clouds, 1,500 metres in the air, much wetter normally. You can kind of feel it in the air, you feel the moisture, although it's not raining. There's the ridge of this valley, this ravine, and then we've got the next one. There's obviously a gap, you can see the sun coming in, and the next ridge. And that's how the island's known as the fruit squeezer, because it's like the ridges that you squish an orange or a lemon into. A good view of this little town here. Sitting in a valley, at the top of this valley, you can see there the terraces. Getting some flat land to farm on. A lot of work doing that. Maintaining it, I guess. Everywhere you go here, you're up a mountain, down a mountain. To get anywhere. There's no coastal roads.
It's hard to find the words for it. The sheer scale of it is just a lot. And I've still got to drive all the way down.
So the change in altitude in the area is pretty crazy. Down, obviously, there, we're at sea level. And you can climb up to about 1,000 metres and still be in the same region, Valle Gran Rey. And I built this big massive structure here. It's pretty cool. You can see again all the terraces on the mountains for farming.
The final descent is something else. A long winding road that snakes its way down the cliff face.
I've been driving downhill for so long and we're still not at the ocean. Crazy.
But eventually, you'll make your way to the valley floor.
So after so much driving downhill, I finally made it to the sea. The sea! It smells like the sea. Looks like the sea. Sounds like the sea. Must be the sea. Here you can see the valley we came down behind me. Beautiful place. Actually, it seems to be quite a lot here. Despite it being on a fairly quiet island. I think about an hour from the airport, an hour and a half from San Sebastian. Feels more touristy than San Sebastian, but in a good way, to be fair. The area at the end of this ravine, Valle Gran Rey, it's kind of made up of three or four, I think, little towns.
It isn't just one single place. It's a string of little villages all huddled together at the bottom of this massive valley. The main part of the town is broadly split up into two. On the hillside is La Calera, a tight-knit collection of houses practically built into the rock. And down below is the beach.
This is the beach. It's just rock. There is a little sandy bit. A huge mountain behind. It's just a little place. It's pretty though. There's a few restaurants and cafes and stuff by the beach. This is the little beach. It's a little bit sandy, mostly rocky. Tide's out today. If you really want to, you can play with a local bowls club. We've got the sun, we've got the coffee, and we've got this view.
It's a great spot to sit and watch the world go by, which is pretty much what this whole place feels like it's designed for.
We'll go and check out one of the other little towns.
From the beach at La Calera, promenade runs along the coast.
So this area here in the valley is Puntilla. I've got a big statue. So Valle Gran Rey was the meeting point for a group of rebels who were rebelling against the Spanish occupation. There's another little beach here as well, Playa de la Puntilla. Again, it's rocky. It all kind of seems like one town because there's no distinction between them, there's no gaps. And to be fair, I think you can walk from one end to the other in about 20 minutes. But it's not huge. There's quite a lot here amongst the three little towns. I'm such a sucker for street art. It really does brighten it up, like. Not that it needs it with the sun today, but. And this is Charco del Conde, little natural rock pool. But the tide's out at the minute. It doesn't look very deep. It's a really nice little promenade to walk along. So this feels a little more resorty than where I was staying. A couple of these big properties. Which means you've got more facilities, to be fair.
It basically doesn't matter where you stay. You can just walk to the other bits in a few minutes anyway. At the far end of the promenade is Vuletas, the working port area.
So this is Vuletas. It's where the harbour is. You can get a ferry here round to the other side of the island. There's also trips to go dolphin and whale watching. I think it's about €40 for a trip. There's lots of these little shrines and little chapels around. I'm guessing this is some sort of church. Oh yeah, very modern. There's the cross. That's cool. Now, if you're German, you'll feel very at home here. For some reason, Gomera, very popular with Germans. All the signage is in Spanish, English, and German. Not like, I mean, signage in shops and tourist bits. All the signage in shops and tourist sites, restaurants, menus and stuff is all in English, Spanish, and German. And there's so many Germans here.
This is the more functional end of town, and it has its own character, its own beach, and it's tucked away from the main stretch.
And the street's nice. Steep, but nice. That's cute. Love all the plants people have put out. There we go. Every day at 11. So this is Playa de Vuletas, right next to the harbour, and an enormous cliff. It's quite sheltered from the wind. Really nice, fine black sand. Calm water, because it's got the harbour breaking the waves.
The waters are a lot calmer here than the main beach, protected by the harbour wall. A good option if you don't fancy getting battered by waves. But if you do fancy getting battered by waves, there's a place for that too. On the other side of the headland is Playa del Ingles, and it's a completely different animal.
So after chilling in the apartment for a bit, I've decided to come down to the beach to watch the sunset, because that seems like a nice thing to do. These waves are coming in fast. Super fast, There's some big spray coming off these waves. Standing here, downwind. I'm getting a little shower. Beautiful though. You've seen this mountain behind me as well, look at it. Oh, the scale of it's massive. So cool.
This is where to come to watch the sunset. It's wilder, more rugged, and there's hardly anyone else about. As the sun drops, you really get that feeling of isolation, that you're on a tiny island on the edge of the continent staring out into the ocean. The sound of the wind, the crash of the waves, it's a great way to end the day.
A pretty nice sunset that was. Playa del Ingles, Gomera, a thumbs up from me. Oh, fucking freezing. Well, it's time for me to leave Valle Gran Rey. Beautiful place. Pretty quiet, but most of this island is. Definitely need the car, but a few days here is enough, I think. Depends what you want to do, really. If you like the peace and quiet. The only thing is the beaches aren't, because the waves are quite big and the wind can be quite strong and the beaches are rocky. If you're wanting to just spend days and days at the beach, it's not really the place for that. But there's quite a lot here, quite a lot of restaurants, bars, cafes and stuff. Most of the accommodation is self-catering. But yeah, it's a lovely place. If you're coming to the island, you've definitely got to come and see it. And yeah, it's a good place to stay for a couple of days. So overall, positive experience.
So is Valle Gran Rey worth the journey to get here? Absolutely. But more than the town or the beaches, the thing that stays with you is the setting. The feeling of being down on the valley floor, looking back up at those massive cliff walls you just spent a long time driving over and down. It's a place that makes you feel pretty small, in a good way. It's a reminder that there are still these huge, impressive and relatively unknown places out there. A small island that somehow manages to feel absolutely massive. And that, really, is what the Valley of the Great King is all about. If you want to see more content like this, please give this video a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It really helps. Cheers, see you soon.